When I got to junior high, which was grades 7 through 9 in Amherst, I was bewildered and lost. I had been a happy 6th grader, a captain of a basketball team, an engaged student. But all of a sudden, when my elementary school merged with 4 others into the junior high, I was nothing. Everyone else seemed to be sharing in a group story of which I had no part. I remember frequent agonies of shame at my bottomless ignorance of the culture all my peers seemed to share. I had a hopeless crush on the popular troublemaker boy, Josh Courtwright, but didn't even know the meaning of the word flirt, or let alone how to approach such a glittering creature. How did all the other girls know what clothes and jewelry to wear? How did they know to buy Pearl Jam's album 10? The ease and casualness these girls had with their lockers, the boys, the proper social events, the appropriate level of interest in school and current affairs, just made my own dis-ease the more profound. I felt invisible, mute, and without value. Enter 2 girls who were 2 years older than I, basketball players, captains of the varsity, Jenny Pariseau and Jamila Weidman. I tried out for the JV basketball team in 9th grade and made the team. And Jenny Pariseau learned my name. She would greet me and all the other lost little freshmen with warmth and teasing when we trundled our backpacks up to the high school locker room. Jamila would smile and shake our hands as we came into practice. Impossibly far from us, Jenny knew all the kids, all the teachers, all the coaches. She was silly and a fierce athlete and gave me a place to belong. Jamila's athletic poise and regal grace gave me something to dream of aspiring to. These girls saved me. I would have done anything for them. High school unfolded. I took classes which I barely recall, shuffled through ascending hallways, smelly lockers, more fruitless crushes. My days were in blurry black and white. But when I stepped into the gym in my meticulously chosen champion mesh shorts, the world became technicolor. Basketball was my real life. I had the fortune to be part of a great high school sports drama, the girls' version of Friday Night Lights. We won the state championship. Our town loved us. We loved being role models for younger girls. We took pride in being scholar athletes. Jenny would later play for Dartmouth, and Jamila would be the captain of the team at Stanford. We loved our vestments, the shiny, satiny uniforms in maroon and white that set us apart and gave us the sacred duty to play. The court was the holy of holies. No one ever dares to walk across it on a game night unless they are a player or a coach or a referee. The game runs to its own clock. It is its own world. And so this game is where I learned about community, about shared values, about the power of sharing a spectacle, both as an athlete and a fan. It's also where I learned about transcendence. I can remember moments where I knew from the center of my being where every player was on the court, knew that the ball leaving my fingertips was unerringly arcing towards the net. This was not information processed through my senses to my brain. This was like lifting the veil and stepping into another dimension of reality, the real one. So you might be able to imagine then what happened to me in my freshman year of college when I did not make the basketball team. And what happened when I started to train to try out again the next year and tore the anterior cruciate ligament of my left knee. Great was the ruin of my house. You may know that the word sin comes from the Latin peccatum, which was a term from archery. It was used to describe when the arrow missed the mark. This is my story with basketball. It is not and was not wrong to love basketball and all the parts of it that set my soul on fire. And certainly at that time, with almost zero religious exposure, I was certainly not denying God in favor of basketball. But I was missing the mark. This other dimension that I could feel, this other presence or reality that I had glimpsed, was not basketball. Jesus and Isaiah are talking about this kind of mistake, one that religious people like ourselves are prone to make. "Why do you call me Lord and do not do what I ask?" says Jesus. "Why do you fast and pray and go to church but miss the actual heart of religion?" is what Isaiah is saying. What is the foundation upon which we are to build? Surely the foundation is this truer dimension of reality, which we call God, in which we are connected and whole. Is not the foundation to loose the bonds of injustice, to undo the thongs of the yoke, to let the oppressed go free and break every yoke? To live in a way which understands that we are connected in the love of the one who made all things? What both Jesus and Isaiah want to be clear about is this: to mistake religion for God, liturgy for gospel, is to miss the mark. We need religion and basketball and cooking and any number of other things in order to find and experience God. But if we conflate the underlying source of love and community and joy with its outward expression, we miss the mark. We sin. This was my mistake with basketball. But let me pick up the story. Some of you know this next part. I lost basketball, and with it my sense of self, meaning, purpose, joy. It was a pretty rough spring. My surgery was scheduled for that summer at Boston Children's Hospital. I stayed awake for the procedure. I watched the screen show images from the surgeon's camera inside my knee. My anesthesiologist narrated what was happening. And I saw an amazing thing. The inside of my knee was beautiful. Opalescent blue-white bone, rich red rope of ligament, all against a background of living purple. And as they repaired the ligament, I knew that I was created, that the force which created is one who loves, who delights in color and texture and shape. There are functional explanations for the evolution of the mechanics of the knee, but its beauty, never intended to be seen, is the delight of the Creator. And this began my journey to religion, to worlds that I never could have predicted. In a wonderful bit of poetry, I recently learned the etymology of the word religion. Derived from the Latin religare, it means to repair the breach, to bind together God and humanity. And the binder in the word is the lig, which is the ligament, the same lig. And so the repair, the rebinding of my ligament was also the dawning of religion for me. The Lenten journey asks us to diagnose the breach in our lives. It asks us to search out what has missed the mark and kept us from God. What is your house built on? Our sin may be very dear to us. It may even be part of the way we have come to feel and know the presence of God. Jesus came, after all, to save sinners. It may feel like ruin to lose the false foundation. But loss is not where the story ends. On the other side of sin is a promise we cannot yet imagine. New worlds are waiting for us. Our God shall heal us, and make us like a watered garden, like a spring of water. Today we receive ashes upon our foreheads to remember that we are mortal. We will lose this life, no matter what we do. Our life is very dear to us, but it is also a limiter. On the other side of the loss is a promise we cannot imagine. The moral of my story is not, don't play sports. We should play with passion and find love and joy and community as we live. But we must not mistake the game for the source. We must acknowledge the real limit of our mortality. We must know that we are to die. And then we must not fear death. We must know that we belong to one who is eternal.